What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Unique Mazik, the hardest working man in sports and gaming, and we're back with another Ultimate Legends roster. This time we're taking a look at the Indiana Pacers, and yes, you are looking at Razor's creation of Reggie Miller. It is fantastic, flies, all that. And to be honest, when I started doing this roster, PC only again, I'll mention that again. The mods that Razor did, and I'm putting the link to his channel in the description because he's the best modder out there. But the mods that he did for like Reggie Miller, Charles Barkley, and Tracy McGrady are the ones that really got my mind spinning. Like, man, I think I need to do this roster that I've been doing for the past 3 years. I think I need to do it on PC. So he's who got me going with that, and so I was really happy to work with him. And yes, people are noticing for sure that he's killing it. So the way I always do it is I lead off with, the most prominent image, which is Reggie Miller. He is not anywhere near the highest rated Pacer. I know it's weird because he may be the greatest Indiana Pacer based off of accomplishments and stuff. But if you're really being real and you're rating Reggie Miller, he's not going to be the highest rated Pacer. He's not. Just think about it off the top of your head. Is Reggie Miller a better player, or was he a better player than Paul George? I think if you really know the game, you know he's not anywhere near a better player than Paul George. So that's just one guy. So we're going to get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all of the people that Razor has modded for the Pacers. And then I'm going to show you the people who made my team according to my formula, the FPVR. This is going to be the new all-time Pacers. We're trying to get through all of these teams. I want to have this roster out before the end of the month, so we're working. All right, so let's jump into the teams. Like I said, you'll see who made the team, and then after that, you'll see what I rated them. And then I'm going to show you a quarter of gameplay. We're playing against Golden State Warriors, and I'm telling y'all, playing this with this roster is difficult. It's like you playing against a team full of Galaxy Opals sometimes. It's tough. So let's check it out. All right, so the first guy up, you see we got some people in the background there. This is Raja Brown. They call him the Raja. Now, he dates back to Indiana Pacers in the ABA, and just do a Google or a YouTube search for Raja Brown Pacers. You're going to see what I'm talking about. He has some James Harden to his game. I mean, really just a slick, dynamic scorer. Listen to Dr. J talk about him, which was one of his contemporaries. They talk about how the Pacers were the best team in the ABA, and Raja Brown was the best player, or one of the best players. Between him and probably George McGinnis, who were the best players for those Pacers teams. So Raja Brown was a beast. I had to get him in here. So next up, we got Mel Daniels, who a lot of people consider to be the greatest Indiana Pacer because he was a 20-10 dominant inside presence for the Pacers during those ABA years. He recently passed away, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. Was a mentor actually to Reggie Miller in Indiana. Just an all-time Pacer, 100%. So we had to get him in there too. The next person is not such a great player, but he played with the Pacers for a long time, and he ekes on my team because of the tenure, and he was on some really good Pacer teams as like a 10th, 11th man. He was a pretty good defender and a decent rebounder for like per 36 minutes type of thing, but not a great player at all. So he will not be on the Pacers, all-time Pacers for a long time. I'm thinking Victor Oladipo bumps him shortly. So it's going to happen, especially because the Pacers like going to playoffs and stuff too. So it's going to happen. But for right now, Jeff Foster is on the team, and Razor did a great job with him. Next up, we got the Baby Bull. This was one of the worst renders that 2K had. Look at this one on the left. He looked like somebody took 2 hot cookie cutters and just sat them on both eyes and said, "I'm gonna burn a cookie out your eye." It's bad. It looked like his face got put on twice, and both times it got put on by somebody blind. It ain't good. It's not what it's supposed to be. So Razor redid him, and it looks definitely much more like McGinnis. I think this is one of the only ones that I know of that Razor did. I kind of like, okay, I can kind of see how I might have asked him to do like the forehead a little more narrow. But when you look at the picture he used and what he came up with, you can clearly see, look, he had to hand draw that mustache. So that's how that and look at that. And then the little soul patch is there very much. I think the only thing is the forehead is a little bit too wide. I think that's the main thing there. But George McGinnis had you gotta go back and look at his statistics, but he had some LeBron-like statistics, like not quite as great in the scoring, but if you look at the rebounding and the assist and the steals, he was a phenomenal player, and even a great player once he got to the NBA play for the 76ers as well. Outstanding player, George McGinnis. They call him the baby bull, just a beast. Next up, we got Freddie Lewis. Love this render, what Razor did with this one. The Pacers don't have a lot of point guards on the team that I have, and Freddie Lewis is a point guard, 2 guard. So he actually starts at the point guard on the team that I have here. Just a really solid player. Another player from those really good Pacer teams in the 60s and 70s, really. All right, so next up, we got Dale Davis. This one, I'm telling you, Razor killed him. Now, this is from those 90s Pacers teams. They had the Davis boys, Antonio and Dale Davis. This is really good. Fantastic. He rebounded defender, shot blocker type of a player, never a big time scorer, but an important part to those 90s Pacers teams. Next up, we got Bob Netalicki. He was also a part of those teams. I'm telling you, those 70s Pacers teams, look them up. They were really good. Bob Netalicki is in here. Nice physical post player. Had a medium range jump shot. I gave him a little bit of love in some of the distance shots because I figure if he played now, he might have a little bit more of that to his game. But here he is. Now, this guy, Billy Knight, was a scoring machine. He got buckets, and he also was a good rebounder, especially for his size. Just one of the more underrated players. Now, he wasn't on good Pacer teams, which is the problem. So he put up a lot of numbers on bad Pacer teams, but he could score. I'm telling you, look up those numbers on Billy Knight. He was a scoring machine. Now, here's the last guy that Razor had in mind for me. Bill Keller, very small guy. You look at this guy, there's nowhere where you think this was an NBA player, or ABA player, but he was. About 5'10", 5'11". He was a really good defender, strong, physically strong, and a really good shooter. So he does make the team. Again, he was on those ABA championship teams for the Pacers. So now let's look and see where they ranked and everybody that made the team. So Mel Daniels is number 1. Just great time with the Pacers. He's a 2-time ABA MVP. That kind of pushed him over. Reggie Miller is second. The tenure is there and big time. Nobody played for the Pacers longer than Reggie Miller. I think the next closest person in tenure is Jeff Foster. So that's kind of how he got on this team. George McGinnis is 3rd. Roger Brown is 4th. Bob Netalicki's 5th. Freddie Lewis is 6th. Jermaine O'Neal is 7th. Paul George is only 8th. It would have been much higher had he not left. Rick Smits is 9th. Billy Knight is 10th. Dale Davis is 11th. Bill Keller is 12th. Jeff Foster is 13. Danny Granger is 14. And Ron Artest comes in at 15. So now let's take a look at these ratings. All right. So the number 1 rated player on the Pacers for me is, like I said, is George McGinnis. George McGinnis was, I'm just telling you, just look up those stats on George McGinnis and you will see 100% what I'm saying, why he got some, like, people mention, like, if you hear people who are familiar with basketball now and watched in the 70s, they'll tell you from a physical standpoint and the versatility to the game, there's some similarities to LeBron. It really is. Not quite the athlete LeBron was in his prime, but definitely a freakish athlete, the baby bull. Got Paul George as the second highest rated guy at 91. I think, come on, man. I mean, I think everybody gotta kind of recognize that. Roger Brown comes at number 3 with an 88. Ron Artest is right there with him with an 88. Big, y'all remember how good a defender Ron Artest was, especially back when he was with the Pacers. Just started to get his scoring. The funny thing about Ron Artest, you look at him with the Pacers, the year of the Malice in the Palace when he got into the fight with Ben Wallace, if you look at his numbers that year before he got suspended for the whole season, he was playing like an MVP candidate. Like, not just a good player. Look at those numbers from that season and you will see what I mean. He was putting up sick numbers. I took the 24-year-old version of Ron Artest. Then we got Mel Daniels coming in with the 86. He's an undersized guy, so that's kind of tough. Jermaine O'Neal, beastin', 6'11". He has an 85 overall. Then you got Danny Granger with the 84. I know you're like, where's Reggie? You got Billy Knight with the 84. And then you got Freddie Lewis with the 83. And then you got Dale Davis with an 83. And then you got Reggie Miller also with an 83. Now, I know what you're saying. How in the world is he that low? But Reggie Miller was never a great defender. Reggie Miller couldn't get his own shot. He wasn't going to create anything off the dribble. And I'm not putting Reggie down as a player. I'm just saying, as the ratings go with 2K, if you be honest, if you're honest and you try to make, use by, and you go by the stats that are available. And then, of course, I watched Reggie Miller's whole career. So I remember him in his last year at UCLA when he had the little swoop fade. So I watched his whole career, and that's what I went off of. He definitely has the 3-point numbers, definitely has the free throws, and even the standing layup stuff, the dunk stuff. Come on now, we know Reggie's not a great athlete. The speed with the ball, I mean, he's not blowing past anybody. So I gave him a little bit of love on the post fade because Reggie did have a little bit of a post game. The fadeaway jump shot was a weapon for him, but I didn't go crazy. I tried to rate people realistically, and I tried to stay away from getting caught up in, oh, this person's famous. And so Reggie was one of those people. I had to come at easy, realistic. But because of his shooting, he is a threat. I mean, one of the few guys I can actually, I'm telling you, I'm struggling playing against these teams. One of the few guys I can really just have some success with, because you run him off a screen and he comes off shooting and he's fire. So, I think that's the type of game he had, and that's the way it should be. Next, we got Bob Netalicki with the 82. We got Rick Smits with an 81. Rick Smits was a really bad athlete overall, but he could really shoot the ball, and he had good post game. But he was a really bad shot blocker, especially for someone that big. He was primarily an offensive center, and if you look at Rick Smits' rebound numbers, they were really low. So, especially for a 7'4" guy with some heft to him. So, then we had Bill Keller down here at the 81, and then last is Jeff Foster. Yes, you see how bad the rating is for him. I think it's probably the lowest rating of anybody in the entire Legends roster. At least anybody that I can remember that I put. I don't think I have anybody yet who has a lower rating than that. So I'm going to dip into this gameplay. I'm not going to talk over it this time because last time we had the little mic problem on the Golden State Warrior video. I apologize for that. So let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay. It's the Pacers and the Warriors. Now, I warned you, it's a little bit tough. It's a little tough. So I appreciate you watching as always. God bless and peace.
Hello, everyone. Proud to bring you Wednesday night coverage of the NBA on 2K Sports. Joined in the booth with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry, this is Kevin Harlan. Our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. We'll see the Golden State Warriors facing the Indiana Pacers. Here we go. So Golden State will get the first possession. And now the Golden State Warriors starters. We've got Durant. Curry is out there with Klay Thompson. Then there's Chamberlain, and it's Barry in at the small forward position. Now here's Thompson. Curry wide open. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. Curry's got the first 3 points of the night up on the board for the Warriors. Curry against Lewis. Pass to Brown. Clock at 4. Takes it from 10. And Durant sends it back.
The long arm of the law. Durant is not a premier shot blocker, but you wouldn't know it from that play.
Thompson with the bucket.
And I ask you, what can you do? This guy is a phenomenal decision maker.
Here's Lewis after the made shot from Klay Thompson. On the wing, George. Here's McGinnis. Puts it up. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
And where's the help? Obviously a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Well, you have to be able to trust each other on the defensive end of the floor. Otherwise, the whole thing is just going to crumble.
The shot's good from Barry.
And right out of the gates, they are locked and loaded. 3 straight scores early.
George against Thompson. This one for 3. And it's George missing. Golden State has come out of the gates quickly. Barry, a putback. Great positioning on the putback.
These guys are like dentists right now. 4 out of 5 recommending a made shot. They're in a great groove.
It's Brown on the wing. Daniels kicks to George. Over Thompson. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Here's Curry. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. Curry's got 5.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Lewis passes to George. That doesn't go either for George.
And 1 for 5 is a tough way to start the game, Kevin. They got to get it going.
Off the left rim and out.
Were those guys back on defense? I didn't see them. Somehow someone missed an assignment. Luckily, he bricked the mid-range. This is a terrible start for him, and it has to be weighing on him.
And it's a foul called on Doc. That's his first foul. And here in the first, about 3 minutes in, there's the pass to Curry. Durant in the corner. Another 3 for Golden State.
Defensively, giving up far too many open rhythm looks.
So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game.
Yeah, you know, some of it's shot selection, some just bad luck, and they just can't get anything going.
Well, coming out of the timeout, let's see if they go for the outside shot or if they look to go inside, try to build some confidence by seeing that ball go in.
Now here's Lewis. Daniels dishes to Brown. Lewis with it. And Curry picks him up defensively. Brown feeling it out a bit. To stop the run. And once again off the mark by Indiana. Warriors leading by 12. Here's Durant. It's hauled in by Brown.
You can't afford to let guys get comfortable there. The defense somehow avoided that shot from going in.
Lewis kicks to Brown. Passes it to Daniels. Lewis outside. On the wing, George. Durant against McGinnis. Count the basket. McGinnis has got his second basket of the game.
And defensively, this is a nightmare. He's already on a roll.
Well, I love his will, his take charge attitude, the aggressiveness, all of that showing up here in the first.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Here's McGinnis. Over Durant. And Durant sends it back.
Really having a difficult time getting anything to fall.
Guys, they've really built a nice lead here.
And doesn't show any sign of slowing down.
And Thompson kicks to Chamberlain.
And despite that miss, a strong start for them offensively. And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
The Warriors shooting their first free throw of the evening. Curry against Lewis. And here's George. He's been patient so far, nothing on the scoreboard yet.
Paul George is great at breaking down the defense, and he does it with the pass that time.
And it's the Warriors' ball. They're on a 19-6 run. Durant against McGinnis. And Durant gets it to go. Durant's got 5.
Methodical in their approach. They have absolutely owned this first quarter.
Yeah, you can credit the play calling. Nothing really fancy, just imposing their will on the inside.
Now, here's George. On the wing, Brown. Lock at 6. Over Barry. That one off the back iron and out. And it's Curry with the ball, bringing it up for Golden State. Chamberlain. And Chamberlain with the stuff.
And already with the commanding lead, a terrific offensive performance.
And if you check out the strategy, you can see already the plays that they're calling. Feels like they found a weakness or two in the defense.
Miller's checked in for the Pacers. Skinny comes in for Doc. And Golden State also making a change. Mullins is checked in. Here is Skinny, guarded by Curry. Kept alive. Another shot. McGinnis' shot is off.
Credit the defense, wisely avoiding fouling the shooter. Don't want to give up a personal there. And he made him attempt a difficult layup. He's knocking down most everything, guys. 3 of 4 here.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need the basket.
Indiana again missing.
And he didn't punish them for the weak coverage there, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
Tearaway warm-ups have long been a feature of the NBA. But last season, the new tearaway jerseys, they just kept ripping apart.
The old uniform malfunction happened last year. Yeah, maybe.
You even had a couple malfunctions, and that was odd.
Well, the tie? Bad tie?
Yeah.
I always have bad ties. I think they're looking back at the material choices for what they're doing, so maybe there'll be some subtle changes into this year. But it was interesting. In the early part of last year, a lot of guys with a finger underneath the arm and pulling away a jersey and ripped away. So maybe the supplier will do something about the fabric this year.
Here's Thurman. The Pacers making the shot. Mullen. They get it back. And at last, they get one to fall. Mullen's got his first basket of the night. Pass to Keller. Now Daniels, guarded by Hardaway. Here's McGinnis. And the pass to Keller. 6 to shoot. Brown outside.
I'll just keep watching Draymond Green and keep being impressed by what he does defensively out there.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track. The defensive reaction time, it was just immediate on that one.
Sometimes the most important part of that is the angle that the defender chooses. That time, he chose wisely.
And they don't want to get in a habit of giving him open looks from 3. First quarter still, but not who you want to leave open.
Now, here is Chamberlain. He has 7. Keller passes to Miller. No good from outside. Warriors leading by 19. Outside, Green. Here's Hardaway. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. The Warriors have made their only other free throw attempt today in an earlier trip to the line. And he's good on the second. And it's Indiana's ball. Here is Skinny. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Miller outside. Here's O'Neal. Whistle blows. Basket is good. So a chance here for a three-point play.
And that is one thing he does very well. His intensity on the glass helps lead to these high percentage putbacks for his team.
And Indiana making a change here. Knight's checked in. The prodigy, he's checked in for Golden State. To the inside. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. Here's Knight. Finished off the break.
And there's that transition offense. Push the ball up the floor. The defense can't get set, and you can get some easy baskets here.
Now here is Hardaway. Outside, Green. The 19-foot shot. Some nice passing by Golden State here. It's Hardaway with the drive. Got a hand on it.
A team's rebounding is a great measure of its energy, and theirs has been terrific here in the first quarter.
And when the D is this non-existent, it's pretty easy for shooters fishing with dynamite.
Here's the prodigy after Indiana gets the three. Left side, Mullen. In the corner, Hardaway with it. And he wills that one in, sinking right through off the back iron.
Defensively, they've been a step slow here to start.
Keller passes to Smits. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. And Jermaine O'Neal pulls it down.
Yeah, and something we always talk about, though, shot selection.
Well, being aggressive is one thing, but aggression with control is another, and you need both elements working together.
Knight lays it up off the glass. Knight's got his second basket.
I mean, the number of points they've scored in the paint already here is eye-opening.
Pass to Thurman, and he jams it with authority.
Starting to surge here, and we're only in the first quarter.
And I'm loving what I'm seeing, the passion that they're playing with up and down the floor.
And so it's the Golden State Warriors with a 14.
Pocket, I'll be weak. I'm rather unique.